My name is Matthew Koleski. I'm the President and Chief Compliance Officer at Arbor Capital, and we are the parent to Arbor Digital.
My name is Mark Nichols. I'm the Product Director at Arbor Digital, and I come from the traditional financial world, and I've jumped into this crazy crypto world with our full service product at Arbor Digital.
What led us to launch Arbor Digital was a few years later, we're looking around at different asset classes, and I personally had experienced Bitcoin, going back to 2011, 2012, and we're like, how do we get this for our clients? Like, how do we get exposure to this new asset class? And so that led us to explore in our alternative sleeve, like, let's add Bitcoin, let's add GBTC, and we did that. And so that was kind of the genesis for Arbor Digital, because then we said, how do we go beyond just Bitcoin, right? How do we go into Ethereum and some of these other protocols? And so we said, you know what? Let's go build it. And so we looked at different ways to get our clients exposure, and that's what led to the launch of Arbor Digital. I would say, like, the monetary policy, when you think about it from like a central banking perspective, there's a massive difference, right? Because central bankers, they want to promote their own currency, whether that's the dollar or the euro or the Chinese yuan or whatever. And we'll talk about Bitcoin specifically, it's like, there's a fixed supply. It's known. You can't play politics with it. You can't monkey around with it. It's like, it is what it is.
And I think that's where we've built a really good team, and it's not just Matt and I. We have a team around us, and we have partners such as DFD who help hold us accountable, especially in those times. And they're also the ones, and we're also the ones who together get ourselves through those hard times and make sure we don't lose focus on why we got into this in the first place.
We serve the other financial advisors that want to get into this asset class on behalf of their clients, the ones that are curious and the ones that see the value here. And part of our job is to help educate them and move them along. We think this is the future, right? We think eventually more assets are going to be moving on chain, but in terms of who we serve, it's the other advisors that want to engage with us and want to engage on behalf of their clients into this asset class.
I think the stats are, from some of the recent studies, it's at least 56% of all millennial investors have an allocation to crypto or digital assets, either in a 401k, IRA, or a taxable account. That's a large percentage. That's not anecdotal by any means. And then Coinbase, which is the primary way, especially here in the US, that people have gotten into digital assets, they have over, I mentioned earlier, 100 million accounts. And then you look at even Charles Schwab. When you look at millennial investors and younger, the third largest holding of those investors is GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So these investors are going to invest, whether the advisors like it or not. The idea is, are you going to be the one that shepherds them safely and securely to engage with this? I call it the merge. And there's this merging, what you said, of this new decentralized technology and then with the traditional incumbent technology and the players that have been built. That merge is happening, and you need people who are going to understand both worlds. And right now, you either understand one or the other. So why Arbor? Arbor is right in the middle, and we are committed to being in both worlds and understanding them, so that way we can help that connection in the middle happen. And I think if you're going to engage in an asset class that moves at the speed of information over the internet and is live 24/7, 365, you have to be dedicated. You don't want to work with partners who don't live and breathe in this space in that way. And for me, that has to be the fundamental piece to why Arbor.
We've got the personal experience, the professional experience, and the compliance background to do this in the most compliant and accessible way possible. I think we're going to see new highs in Bitcoin probably if this really accelerates with the banking meltdown. I would not be surprised at all. The narrative, what's cool about Bitcoin, right, and digital assets, the narrative can shift and they can absorb it, and it can be programmed and almost go into these new things. What's always been there for Bitcoin is this is a reserve asset class. It's digital gold. It can be exchanged online natively 24/7, 365. And as people say and look at the crap that's falling down around them, like, this has not changed. Every 10 minutes or so, another block gets mined. It's always going to be there. And we talk about trust, you can trust that. You can see it. It's verifiable. So my prediction, I would say if we continue to see this meltdown, that you'll see Bitcoin continue to move higher and more interest from not just advisors and their clients, but from the general public.
Absolutely. So we have a podcast called The Asset Revolution, a little play on words where it's both a revolutionary and evolutionary podcast about digital assets. You can also find all of our content, our articles. Matt frequently writes articles, as well as we are on Forbes or any other financial services media. You can find us at our website, arbordigital.io, and then all social media platforms. We are primarily on LinkedIn and Twitter, but you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram as well.